Judgment will be served. The Alkebulan kidnapped will receive justice by any means necessary. I repeat, judgment will be served. The Alkebulan kidnapped will receive justice by any means necessary.
Peace, everyone. What it do, y'all? It's your brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live from the NY. Back with another one of that ROD pod, aka The Verdict, Facts Over Beliefs. Today is the day I bang the gavel on all religion, Christianity, Judaism, Hebrewism, Bantuism, and every other isms that's keeping us in spiritual prison. Today is that day. So first and foremost, definitely got to give a shout out to you. Got to give all thanks to the ancestors, to the entire creators that put everything together, that put us together, that created us to make us a whole. All of this would not be if it wasn't for them. And it definitely wouldn't be for me if it wasn't for you guys. So shout out to you and round of applause for that. My apologies. Was really putting things together. I'm still loading up a video right now as we speak. I came home. I had to go to the library. Had to renew this. They was trying to charge me like $100 because I was supposed to send some books back, or at least re-register the books. But the day I was supposed to do that was the day of my grandmother's funeral, so you already know, right? So I had to get that situated and then have my son outside, let him get some fresh air and all that. And then I had to take care of everything else, making sure that these things came out magnificent, right? But anyway, we're gonna have a good one, man. And listen, what I'm about to bring forth to you today, like I told you guys last week, that I am going to show you how this ideology made its way into South Africa. Now, I was the one that was teaching we got to keep the commandments, etc., until I found out that these things was lies. It was lies. It's been a lie. It's going to continue staying a lie until we realize that these people are giving us this ideology to keep us divided. That's all it is. It's divide and conquer. You understand? And like I said before, a lot of our people is giving these people way too much credit, and you're minimizing who you are to uplift who they are. And because you're doing that, you see they've been rising even higher in power while we've been losing it all and praying for somebody or someone to come over a cloud and redeem us. It's not going to happen, right? I'm not going to waste no time. We're going to dive straight into it. I hope you guys are prepared. Get your books out. I'm about to bust y'all heads today. Let's go. Do you know who this man is? Do you guys know who this man is? This man right here. Hold on, let me make sure my mic is on. Make sure my mic is on. Mic check. Okay. This man right here. This is the man that brought the commandments to South Africa. I repeat, this is the man that brought the commandments to South Africa. Let me say this again. This is the man who brought the commandments to South Africa. Let that sink in. What is his name? No other than Albert Christian. Now you got his name. Go look him up. Go do your homework. And stop letting people mislead you, misguide you, and leading you to a path of destruction. You understand? That is his name. Albert Christian. Who is Albert Christian? And I got the books too. I got the books. But let me read. Albert Christian studied with who? Bishop Crowdy. Who is Bishop Crowdy? Bishop Crowdy is the man who's the founding father of the Hebrew Israelites here in America. A Freemason, by the way. Are we gonna be banging the gavels today? Let me make sure I got the gavels up. Yep. We're gonna be banging the gavels today. Okay? Albert Christian studied with Bishop Crowdy and accepted his teachings. In the church official history, he learned of the true gospel of Jesus Christ. He was what? He was baptized and embraced with the what? The whole armor of God. Christian was ordained in Philadelphia and joined the Presbytery board as an evangelist with the territory of what? Cape Colony, South Africa as his dominion. Returning to South Africa, Christian amassed a what? Congregation of 30 members. He established a string of churches throughout Eastern Cape and as far as north as the Transvaal in the northern east of South Africa. The northern east of South Africa. Who else be claiming this northern east location? Listen carefully, people. We're going to have a good one today. Christian won. He won an invitation to the General Assembly of the AME Church of Unity, South Africa, in recognition of his accomplishments. When Christian returned to the United States in 1906, remember I told you in the late 1800s, early 1900s is when the commandments was introduced to the South Africans in El Kebuland. When I told you guys this, you guys didn't want to listen. So I'm going to put it for you so you guys can see it. Okay? Okay? Let us continue. Where was we? He told stories of his many harrowing escapes, invading the authorities and their bans on travel in the Transvaal. And so it was thought the agency of West Indian seamen of ministers that the teachings of an African American prophet became popularized on the African continent. A good illustration of both the transnationalism of the Black Atlantic world and the fact that influence between Africa and the Americans have followed in all directions in what the anthropologist J. Leonard Metropoli calls the Black Atlantic dialogue. Not simply by the way of undirectional diaspora from the African origin. Okay, let us continue. Let's read. At the time of the prophet Crowley's passing, he had thousands of followers who accepted his teachings that Jesus, Moses, and the ancient Israelites were black, and thereby opened the way for the Druidic, Islamic, and the Rastafarian teaching that emerged amongst people of African descent in the subsequent 30 years. So in 30 years, this was something that was, mind you, This is in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And in his case, when he started teaching, it was in the mid 1800s. So you see, he is the founding father of the Islamic, the Judaic, and the Rastafari. Yes, Sizzla Salanchi. Yeah, you're following the bounty. Okay. Crowdy Church of Gods and Saints of Christ trains hundreds of ministers, some of whom went on to form their own groups and provided a pool of thousands of followers open to religious ideas outside of the established Christian church. Two of Crowley's followers deserve special recognition. One was Bishop Jesse B. Thornton, who teamed up with John G. Jones, the most prolific founder of the so-called bogus or irregular Black Masonic Lodge. The other, according to the church-owned history, was Bishop Charles H. Mason, the founder of the first and largest Black Pentecostal denomination, the Church of God in Christ, who carried Black Israelite ideas into the hollow organization. Not all of Crowley's followers accepted the increasingly Judaic teachings of his successors and in the decades after his death, and some disagreements led to a split in 1930 between the more Judaic Belleville-based church and another branch based in Cleveland which maintained more Christian beliefs. Stop letting people feed you the nonsense. Stop playing with me. We bang the gavel. We bang the gavel on the heathens, these Hebrews, these heathenites. We keep our foot on Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Bantuism, Hebrewisms, and every other isms that's keeping us in spiritual prison. Right here in front of you. Okay? Let us continue. It says, as we shall see in the following chapter, the prophet, they call him a prophet. Everybody a prophet. Man them a prophet. Everybody a prophet. Everybody a prophet. I'm a prophet now. My new name is Prophet Jones. That's what you call me, Prophet Jones. Because everybody's a prophet. I feel like this title just given to anybody. Anybody. You listen. I'm going to hold this tomorrow. Prophecy. Everybody's a prophet. I'm going to make coffee out of my dad cup. I'm a prophet. Everybody's a prophet. Complete circus, deranged, delusional. This is what I'm trying to tell you, that we suffer from the PTCS, post-traumatic Christ syndrome. And these are the goddamn doctors who's administrating such foolishness and allowing you to stay mentally ill. It's that. But we're going to continue because I got a whole lot of things to show you. Okay? As well as we shall see in the following chapters, Prophet Crowley, Church of God and Saints of Christ, was part of the holiness movement. Furthermore, it was one of the most American holiness and later Pentecostal church that helped to transform African religious society and inspire the rise of over 6,000 Africans in oh my jeez. Entitled churches, AICS, in the 20th century, frustrated by the gulf between European Christian missionary doctrines and their behavior, and perhaps looking for a greater economic, political freedom as well, Black South Africans had begun forming their own local independent churches. In what year? In what year? In what year? Does that say 1880? In 1892? The formerly Westland Reverend Mangina Mokon, former South African First Nationwide European Ethiopian church in South Africa. Hold on, we gonna have a good one. The Alabenia La Tysopia, the church affiliated itself with the Philadelphia. Listen carefully. The church affiliated itself with the Philadelphia-based African Methodist Episcopal Church in 1896. Although schisms in 1900 and 1904 led to new African head denominations. By 1904, these African head churches claim how many members? How many members? 25,000. Now you take that and you fast forward to today. You fast forward to 2024. How much of that? How much of our people has been fed the William S. Crowley doctrine? Huh? 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 When I tell you this is not of our culture, I am the one that listen. I'm qualified to tell you this because I was studying this. I was teaching this. And the more I go down the hole, I'm like, okay, here I am trying to expose one thing. The creators is like, nope, let me show you all. Oh, hold on. This is why I be baffled when I'm like, damn, these dudes is doing all this studying. You digging all these rabbit holes and you ain't running into this? That means, brothers and sisters, is part of our demise. This is what happened when you work for the agent, bro. Gotta wake up, fam. Gotta wake up. You're not serving the creators. You're serving the enemy. Every single one of y'all. And when you try to associate the creators' name, African culture, with European writings, you're worse than a Jezebel. And you will be destroyed. I promise you. Let us continue. Look, I got my face and everything. Hold on. Let us continue. Claiming 25,000 members, perhaps the most important of the American influence was John Alexander Dowie, Christian Catholic Church in Zion, founded in Zion City, Illinois in 1896, which installed, listen carefully people, which installed its first official in South Africa in 1897 and had 5,000 members by 1905. In 1897, had 5,000 members by 1905. That means within how many years? 8 years? Dewey's Zionist Church practiced adult baptism by immersion in the name of the Trinity, divine healing, and a multi-manual belief that the return of Christ, the Messiah, was imminent. This is what they're telling you. This is where you get this ideology from, people. The Zionist Church. The Zionist Church. The Biblos is not a bus. But I'm not going to, let's finish reading. Like I said, we got a whole lot more. Right? Many subsequent AIC took the name Zionist, and some combined the teachings of the Ethiopian and the Zionist church with Pentecostal speaking tongues introduced by American-based groups such as the Church of God, the Full Gospel, and the Apostolic Faith Mission. Okay? Come on, son. Y'all niggas is bugging. Look, let's read. It says, many African Zionist church identify with the Old Testament and practice elements of Hebrewic rituals, not Bantu, not African, Hebrewic rituals. You're going to tell me that they took it from you, right? The Bantu scrolls, right? Not a single person ever seen a Bantu scroll. Everybody screaming the Bantu scrolls. Not a single person seen the Bantu scrolls. Not a single person seen the Bantu scrolls. But this is what we stand on. This is the justification why this story is about us. I cannot make this stuff up. Listen.
Are you dumb? Are you dumb?
Are you dumb? Or are you dumb?
Are you dumb?
Because anybody with common sense will say, hold on. Wait a minute. Somebody trying to put some liquor in it. Nobody. All this study. Don't worry. We're gonna put a rest to it today. Don't worry. I got you. It says Bishop Claudia, black Israelite rituals and beliefs founded their way in the AIC movement in general, and a few African black Israelites churches in particular. Albert Christian, remember that name, right? Remember I told you who he was. Effort to spread Crowley's teachings found a ally in John Miskanika, a South African who had become a follower of the COGASOC while attending college at the historically black Lincoln University in Philadelphia. So this is South African men who made their way to America and was fed the fufu to end up going back home to teach the fufu. Okay? The Miskenya theology was increasingly Millenarian and political radical, drawing the hostility of the Cape Colony government. Enoch Magama inherited the leadership of the church upon Miskenya's death in 1918 and intensified the group millennial and anti-colonial rhetoric, combining the Israelite teachings of the GOGASOC with spirit possession, seven-day Adventism, and Christian millennialism. His prophecies led to a violent confrontation with the colonial state. The Migama's followers, armed with clubs and spears, clashed with 800-man police force armed with rifles and machine guns, resulting to 164 killed, 129 wounded, and 75 arrests in what became known as the Bullock Massacre. Okay? John Chiliwambi, a marijuana minister from an African Zionist background, led an uprising against the British in 1913. Like Msinga, his discovered black Israelism during his time at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. These people are coming to Lincoln University, and converted it into a theological resistance to the British imperialism. In 1935, a village in the Russup in the northern east Zimbabwe adopted William S. Crowley's teachings, and today several thousands of their descent practices what they call prophetic Judaism and worship in the Beth El Church of God and Saints of Christ. Okay, but Israelite ideas also spread throughout African intended churches, not simply through the agency of Crowley's Church of God and Saints of Christ. A number of African initiated churches have adopted elements of the Israelite creed and sometimes observance of the Passover holidays, such as the African Church of Israel and the African remnant of Israel Church and Rosia. Okay, the Lord's Israelites of Kenya, the Church of the Canaanites, which started in Durban, South Africa in 1916, and the African Apostolic Church of John Moranaki, and other strands of black Israelite movements. Shema Kakungala, the founder of the Bayana Jewish community in Uganda, led the Buganda kingdom and the subduing neighbors tribes and cooperated with the British in hopes that they would be recognized, where they would recognize him as king. When the British refused to recognize the Kakungula, he became more supportive of the radical Zionist Protestant Bamalika sect through meditation on the Old Testament and the strict interpretations of its commandments. He declared himself a Jew in 1919, circumcised his son and his sons, and demanded that his followers do the same. In 1926, he learned the Hebrew alphabet and the Jewish customs from a trader named Joseph, and renounced the New Testament and the divinity of Jesus. Hold on, hold on. Here was this lie given to my peace. And then we cry, blood shed out on these streets, and these heathens will feed us lies and after lies. But the creators is waking up and won't be televised. Hey, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hey, hold on, huh? But when I say these, you guys say that I'm wilding. You guys are trying to figure out how did Jews go from this to that. It's because I'm reading. I'm putting the Biblos aside. Once you understand that the Biblos was given unto you by the enemy, you need to figure out why was it given unto us. And who's the ones that's upholding these ideologies? Guess what? The ones that's going to teach you the lies are going to be the ones that look like you, pimp. Go get yourself a copy. Read it. Read it. I know. You should be upset. You should be upset. It says, William Saunders Crowley, the pioneer bishop who adopted the Hebraic practice in assembly an interracial church in a time of unpredicted racial violence, was born a slave and died a prophet, with followers and legacies on 2 continents, America and Africa. 2 continents. He lived, experienced common to his generation: slavery and liberation, migration and the Western homesteading, domestic works and radical uplift, Baptist worship and the Masonic organization. While he and his church similarly defied conventional wisdom in their teachings and practice, yet both the identification with the ancient Israelites and the formation of the interracial churches were common features of the holiness movement of his era. The following chapters look more deeply into the theologically of those Americans, black and white, who identified as Israelites at the turn of the 20th century, as well as some of the surprising consequences of such beliefs. Okay? I don't want to hear when you guys say, yo, Drew, what happened? This is what happened. I woke up. I smelt what the rock was cooking. Right? Then Jesus said he's the rock. I smelt what it was cooking. And it was cooking human fire. They was cooking humans. Yeah. You guys don't want to believe it because you guys are under this spell. You guys don't want to admit that you suffer from PTCS. You won't admit it. But I'm telling you, this is right in front of you. I have the books. I have the records. I spent 10 years believing this Hebrew nonsense, bro. 10 plus years. And I must take even 10 plus more years in destroying it in the process now. And anybody that's associated with that, you ain't gonna be around me. Because you are working with the enemy. And we don't do Johnny Brasco's where I come from. The own Bible that you guys are reading tells you that you can't be in the middle. Either you be hot or either you be cold. I'm gonna be hot. Because ain't nothing cold over here. We burning everything down. You heard? Yeah, I know. Let us continue. All these religions was forced upon the El Kebulan people, and the El Kebulan kidnapped. It was forced upon you. Stop hiding it. Stop fighting it. Realize what's going on. You have no connection to it. Some of you guys don't even read your Bible every day. You know why? Because there's no connection to it. You force yourself to do so. You forcing yourself. But in reality, they have no connection. And I'm going to show you. Don't worry. Like I said, people wake up. Biblical cities were placed in Africa by Europeans. Oh yeah, you know I'm coming. You know I'm coming guns blazing, people. Hey, me don't know. You know I'm coming guns blazing today. Huh? It been a while since I did some of this for you. Been a while since I banged the gavel. Been a while since I banged this gavel. Oh, it been a while. Damn, this gavel look good. I miss her. Her name is Gavielle. You heard? Gavielle, because she just be banging on these religions. Hold on, let me put this on the screen. Share the like button, man. Join the membership, man. Subscribe. You heard? We outside with it. We just getting started, guys. We just getting started. Biblical cities were placed in Africa by Europeans. Let's start off with Bethlehem. Location: Free State Providence, South Africa. The original name, the indigenous name, not recorded. When was it renamed? 1864. Who? The reasons. The Dutch settlers named it after the biblical town Bethlehem, house of bread. Due to what? Due to its fertile land. So Bethlehem was created by the Dutch. You see how you see? Let's go. Hebron, located near Petra, South Africa. The original name, the indigenous name is unknown. When was it renamed? In 1845. This was named in 1864. This was named in 1845. What's the reason? Named by missionaries after the biblical city Hebron where Abraham lived. Yeah. Okay. Salem. Right? You guys be going to these teachers, they say Salem. Can I bang Gaviella? Salem. Hey, Eastern Cape, South Africa. Original name, the indigenous name, is not preserved. The renaming year, early 1800s. Reason, named by the British settlers and missionaries. Reference peace in Hebrew. So they came, and when they came in the land, they say Salam. British settlers, not Bantu. Shiloh, huh? The Limpopo Province, South Africa. The indigenous names erased. What year was it renamed? 1827. Named by who? The Berlin Missionary Society missionaries. Inspired by the biblical Shiloh, where the Ark of the Covenant was housed. These people was coming into the land and renaming everything to fit the Bible. So when they gave the Bible to you, you would have thought that this was really your book. I had a brother tell me, he said, this is our story. This is a Bantu story. Is it really? Yo, listen, man. I can't make this stuff up. This is comical at this point. Zion, various locations in South Africa, especially associated with the what? The Zion Christian Church. Remember, I read that for you, right? Indigenous name erased. Nobody knows. The renaming year was what? In the late 1800s. Remember when these churches was being conducted? I brought it back for you. So you're going to see how everything is tied together. So this is not my saying. This is not my belief. This is not my assumptions. This is not my insertions. This is the facts. Because only the facts is going to set the El Kebule kidnapped free. Miss us with this nonsense. Miss us with this fake ass Hebrew Bantuism talk. We don't want none of that. We don't want none of that. You heard? We don't want none of that. Keep that nonsense away from us. I don't want it around me. You even come around me talking some biblical talk. Listen, some of you guys need to be pimp smacked, man. Facts. Huh? Let us continue. Nazareth. Oh. Nazareth, Ethiopia. The original name was Adama. Renaming year 1930 during the Italian occupation. Named after the town of Nazareth in the Bible, reflecting Christian and colonial influence. The city reverted to its indigenous name post-occupation. Bethel. Multiple towns in South Africa. Again, the indigenous name not documented. What year was it renamed? In the 19th century. Reason, named after the biblical Bethel, house of God, by who? Missionaries and settlers. So all this name changing, and I don't want to hear nobody telling me nothing. Like, that's not this, not that. Listen, fam, when you see places in Africa called Johannesburg, that alone lets you know that you have no control over what name they're putting in your land. Okay? Okay? The mine of Kimberley. Okay? You have no justification. You can say absolutely nothing. Like I said in previous lives, when somebody comes into your house and they're in your house and they put you in the corner, you in the corner of the house, and they name whatever they want. The minute they put you in the corner of the house, you lost your house. You become the guest in your own house. And that's what's going on in El Capuland. We are the guests in our own house. And you guys don't want to admit it because you're allowing this foolish biblical nonsense to literally be the justification into why you are a guest in your own house and hope that the ultimate super is going to come and put you back in your rightful place. Ain't nobody coming to put you in your rightful place because the last time I checked, wasn't it the ultimate super that put you in these circumstances according to the Biblos? Yeah, but now he's coming to fix, right? Miss me with the nonsense. Yeah. Only a fool. Only a fool.
Are you dumb?
Where was I? Oh. Is this Mambri? Western Cape, South Africa. The Gorgania Icona, the Ikowa name, renamed in what? 1808. Reason, named by the Moravian church missionaries after Mambri, where Abram met the three angels in the Bible. El Cabulans don't have absolutely nothing to say at this particular moment. They running your land. And it's the outsiders like myself that's trying to wake you up and you rather stay asleep because you rather listen to people playing and talking pure nonsense and talking about the wrath of God is coming. Yeah, all right. Ho, 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 ho. Jerusalem, or Jerusalem, South Africa, Eastern Cape, and the Limpopo Province. The original name was erased. What year did they come? Late 19th century. Named by the missionaries to evoke the Holy Land and promote Christian teachings. What are these dudes that's on these internets teaching you? Christian ideology. And they're just putting an African name on top of it. I cannot make this stuff up. And there's just a list of others. Canaan, South African, right? Communal or farming areas. So wherever there's the communal or the farming areas, they changed it. 19th century, named by who? Missionaries or settlers, reference to the promised land in the Bible. Beersheba. You know, these people love saying it. Beersheba is here. Here. The Bible is black history. No, it's not. It's European creation given unto black people and put locations to black people to make black people think of their history that there was written by them and forget your history that was told to you. Okay? Beersheba. The name is unknown. When was the name changed? Early 1800s. Named by who? Missionaries again. Referring the biblical town of Beersheba. Mount Carmel. Oh, you know people love saying Mount Carmel. Right? 19th century. Named by who? By the missionaries. Inspired by the biblical Mount Carmel, symbolizing religious zeal and devotion. So if you see the zeal means being zesty, soft, weak, waiting. Hope somebody gonna come and redeem you. Keep thinking that. Galilee, woo! 19th century, named by who? Missionaries again, after the Sea of Galilee. Hold on. Come on, babes. Okay? Named by missionaries after the Sea of Galilee in the Bible where Jesus performed miracles. So now Jesus is performing miracles in South Africa. He was born in this area, and then he was taken to that area where he was tried and executed. But when you speak to the Zulu people have no recollection of no such person named Jesus. Msindisi. They like, who is this? This is the apocryphy. This is a tragedy, an atrocity. This must be a possibility. This can't be the facts. But you know, the people in the land are telling people from the outside that now we don't know about that. But the people from the outside is so determined, say, no, my brother, you don't know what you're talking about. I spoke to brothers. I hear people say, yo, man, I spoke to people in the land, man. They know the truth, man. They confirming it. My nigga, you didn't just see what I just said. By the time, within 8 years, they had over 5,000 followers. By the time this one man was done, 25,000 followers. This is in the early 1900s, bro. Late 1800s, early 1900s. You fast forward this to this particular time. How many of our people been brainwashed? How many of our people been lost? These people purposely put certain things into the Biblos to literally justify their foolishness. Purposely to get us where we at now. Remember, people, they playing chess, not checkers. They taught you how to play checkers. As soon as you see something, oh, that's it. Not doing no studies, not doing no research, not paying attention. You want that subtle. You hear these dudes coming on, sounding like they got wisdom and this and the. Yo, bro, come on, son. I've been doing this for way too long. And yes, I'm gonna talk like this. I'm not gonna give you that what they call that man, the Big John voice. I'm not gonna give you that. Not gonna give you that, fam. I'm gonna give it to you raw, live, and direct. You take it how it comes. Because if you think an image needs to come on the facts, then you are part of the problem. If you think the image must come, it got to be a particular image in order for the facts to be what it is, then you are part of the problem. You don't know what's going on. You are the one that's unlearned. You are the one that's uneducated. You are the one that's suffering from PTCS. Okay? Wisdom has no age, pimpin'. And wisdom doesn't come in a particular delivery. Get the religion out your mind, people. Right? Antioch, South Africa. The indigenous name nobody knows. 19th century. All of these things is 19th century. You don't see nothing 17th century, 15th century. You don't hear none of these things. You don't hear none of these things. There's people in the land that can trace back their cultures and stuff 2,000 years. But you can ask people about this Jesus story. Nobody can remember it prior to 1900s. Your own teachers is saying, is it really 2,000 years? Come on, because it never happened. The Biblos is not what it is. Let us continue. That's the reason. This is the observation. Time frame. Most renaming occurred in the 19th century during the European colonization and the missionary expansion. Okay? Regions. South Africa saw the most extensive biblical renaming efforts due to the heavy missionary presence. And why did they bring the missionaries there? Because South Africa is the area where the diamonds, the gold, the fertile, the food, the women, everything is in that area. That's why they was there. That's why they was there. Okay? The religious motive. Names were chosen to reflect biblical significance and align local populations with Christian what? Ideology. We got the rivers too for those that want to doubt this fact. Jordan River, located South Africa. Name of the indigenous, not recorded. When was it renamed? In the 19th century. Reason, named by missionaries and settlers to evoke the Jordan River in the Bible, symbolizing baptism, renewal, and spiritual transformation. This is where they was gathering the 5,000, the 25,000, submerging them in water. They was taking them there. It was all a setup. Yo, I cannot make this stuff up. Here comes the river now. Northeastern Africa flows throughout 11 countries, including Egypt, Sudan, and Uganda. The Ituru is the ancient Egyptian name. Various indigenous names along its course renamed along its course. The renaming year, classical iniquity, biblical influence later reinforced by what? Missionaries. The name now originates from the Greek Nigelos, but the river was often equated with biblical narratives such as Moses being placed in a basket and the Pharaoh's story. And there's many more. You can look these stuff up. Here's the observation. The renaming only aligned with what the Christian missionaries' agenda of linking African geographic with biblical narratives. They had to link it. Let's put these things, what's in the Bible, and rename these things. these people are going to believe that Jesus is the way, that God is the truth, that the Bible is the word, that this story is about us. All of this was a setup. It was a setup. It was a setup. I cannot make this stuff up, guys. I really can't. The rise won't be televised, but we are the El Kebulan kidnap. Round of applause for that. I know you guys is probably saying, that's it? No, it's not. Let me pull this up. Now, I told you guys, put my phone on the charger, give me a second. Now, I told you guys that I told you guys about this movie, the Sankofa. If I'm saying it wrong, my apologies. But I want to show you how they force this religion upon the people. Like always, I want to show you. Oh, this thing downloaded. Perfect. Great. Phenomenal. So, let me show you what was going on. I want to show you what was going on. What happened to my camera? Okay. I want to show you what was going on in slavery when it came to religion, and I want to show you how religion was forced upon our people. This movie right here is a very, very hard movie to find. They don't play it on YouTube, nothing, because it gives you the in-depth truth of literally what went on in slavery. It doesn't get any more serious than this. But I'm going to play some snippets. You guys can go, when you read the description, you guys can go and, watch it or do whatever you want to do. Let me move this back a little bit. Oh, I can't. You guys can go watch it. You guys can do whatever you want. But it's Sankofa. Okay? Very powerful movie. Came out in 1993, and I'm so mad that this is my first time seeing it recently, like 2 weeks ago, right? And you know what made me go look at this book? Read this movie? This book right here. Now, you see this man right here? African. El Kebulan. See, your people is going to tell you the truth. Don't let these missionaries and these agents tell you that the truth is going to come from the enemy, and the enemy is correct because the enemy is reading out of the Biblos. I just showed you the Biblos is a complete fraud. Fraud. All of it. Fraud. When you hear son, this is the Abrahamic language. When you see these East Coast people can't even associate with such foolishness. They don't even consider that their language. They try to, they find it very disrespectful that our language has to come through from the lineage of what they tell you your language come from. The Aramaic. Come on, son. So you telling me we didn't have no speak until we got close to the Arabs, but nobody don't listen though. Can't make this stuff up. But like I said, I'm going to play this video for you guys, And I want you guys to be prepared. Oh, excuse me. Because it's really going to be quite interesting. So let me play this one first. Again, I'm showing you. Remember I told you our people never close our hands. This closing our hands came with these people. This closing our hands. We connected to the universe. Your hands supposed to be up. When we chant, we never do these things. We didn't move in this sorrow. It's a trance. It's a hypnosis. This is how they get you. Okay? This is what you call low vibration. This is what you call low frequency. It's intentional. Okay? It's intentional. Pay attention. I know.
Father. Jolly strong. What can I do for you? It's Nunu, Father.
And Nunu is his mom, by the way. I'm gonna show you his mother. He's coming to the church to tell on his biological mother. And he's this color because his mother was raped and put this guy out. And yet she raised him she raised him like it was nothing. And look what he's doing to his own biological mother. Let us continue.
Don't mention that heathen Guinea woman's name in my church.
Don't mention that heathen woman's name in my church. Yeah.
She just don't like our God.
She just don't like our God. Yeah.
I know it because I feel it and I see it in her, Father. I even got a feeling she's gonna try to poison me with something just by the way she always be looking at me.
So he's telling the pastor that he thinks his mother is going to poison him, excuse me. She carried him for 9 months, raised this man to be the age that he is now, and now he feels like she's gonna poison him. What's making him think like that? You guys should know the answer. Put it in the comments.
I just don't know what I to do.
Do you fight back?
I'll be fighting hard, though, Father.
Do you fight back? Doesn't the Bible tell you honor your mother and your father? You could, as long as they under the guidelines of Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hebrewism, Bantuism. As long as they under this guideline, you don't gotta fight back.
Real hard.
Well, that's it. That's it, my son. That's the devil, my son.
Now, here's the pastor calling this man, that's it, my son. It's the devil. It sounds like a lot of you Bantu teachers, huh?
Fight her all the way.
All the way.
Father, you know I'm always to myself.
Don't that religion teach you? That's what Christianity, especially the Hebrewism, stay to yourself. Be thee holy, for I am holy. Huh? Love not the things of the world, my brother. You know, when sin he soon come in the name of Sunini Nanini, he soon come to deliver. He's gonna deliver his children.
I don't go near none of them. Most of the time you read the Bible, you know that.
He's reading the Bible, guys. You know that. When you read the Bible, you know. Listen, this is 1993. Can you imagine what our brothers is doing right now in 2024? The Bantu exodus soon transpire.
Everybody knows that I'm different.
Well, you are different, eh?
Joe, we can make a pretty brown baby.
Pretty brown baby. Look at the self-hatred coming out right now. Look at the self-hatred coming out right now. All in the name of Jesus. Watch, just watch. Listen, look.
Oh, Nyankopon chere ampa. Kwame, asase ya. Asrafo samafo.
Right.
That's his mother. Now you see he's light-skinned. She was raped. When she came to this show, she was raped because she was rebellious. She would never submit. So they raped her and made her carry a baby and treated her, made sure that she raised this child, right? Intentional. And then they took that child and brought that child inside the house. Just letting you know. This is a phenomenal movie, by the way. Go watch it.
Right.
Madam Ase. Se me nuanu modi wan achi. No an bedu ha. Na boni bia anka won.
Right.
Madam Ase. Obrikisi brim. Ni okrekraku. Ni edi musuma mo.
Right.
Inti no yensa aka won. Dwuma ye de asi anim se ye be ye botai ye de asi anim se ye ba be di no. Mo ma bribia ankoso fefefe.
Right.
Asundwe nkuto.
Right.
Edemase demase.
Right.
Asrafo samafo edemase.
Right.
Kona samafo edemase.
Right.
Edemase.
She's the star of the movie. This sister right here. Like I said, Watch the movie and you'll have an understanding. But she's the star.
Prempe su prempe. Any abnae. Womeji. Womeji Tonio. What you have seen, you haven't heard.
What's the Bantu? What's the Bantuism mind them going watch this and say, yeah, your Jew Wallet, son, he believing into the witchcraft.
What you have heard, you haven't seen. Prempe su prempe. Any abnae.
That night, I don't know what froze me, but I couldn't get myself to be initiated. I guess it was just the years of the church in me, but I was so happy anyway to just have made it all the way to the cave. Anyhow, after that, I just got up, no clothes, no food, no nothing, and just started running away from that evil place. I didn't know where I was going. I just set out running in the direction of the hills. And I still can't tell you how far I got or where I was going, but I remember being dragged back in the middle of the night by the overseers and the dogs.
It's about to get real crazy. Pay attention. This is what they was doing to anybody that was trying to hold on to their so-called African customs, traditions, and ways. Listen carefully.
The master, the mistress, Father Raphael, they all said I was possessed by the devil for associating with those heathen Africans.
Look, Father. See? Look, over here, see? This is a heathen's work. She's gone and mixed herself up with a heathen nigger.
Figurations are very similar.
Look at this.
Certainly heathen were African.
See, they cut their hair because they know that their hair is connected to the universe, especially the women. This is why, I always try to encourage y'all to stop putting these synthetic things on your head. It does too much damage. Fibroids, cancer, migraines, tumors, all of these things come from these products that you put over your head. Your head not supposed to be covered. All that nonsense that they tell you is coming from their religion because they know your strength. You understand? They know your strength. Okay? Just letting you know. Let us continue.
Lift her up. Get up. Get up.
I had to put this due to, YouTube copyrights and community guidelines. I ain't want no problems, but as you can see, she's held up butt naked and they're about to do something to her. Pay attention.
Repeat after me. Repeat after the Father. Repeat after me. I belong to God. I am His and His alone. I'm His and His alone. I am possessed by Him.
I am possessed by him.
I am His slave.
I am his slave.
Get away, devil.
Get away, devil.
Did you hear that?
I will never again worship another God.
I will never again worship another God.
I will not associate with those who worship another God.
I will not associate with those who worship
A heathen God.
God.
An African
An
God.
African God.
Never.
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 You witch! If I hear or find you associate with them heathen niggas, fine. God, you'll find yourself in much trouble. I won't be so easy on you next time. Let's get out of here.
And the same way they did it here is the same way they did it out there. This was something that took place in the Caribbean islands. It's the same tactic, the same tricks over and over and over again. Now I'm about to play Mama Love. I'm about to play a sister from the land El Kebulan, South Africa to be exact. And I'm gonna let her give her piece and let her talk and give you guys an understanding of what we was doing before this evil religion that I've just had exposed to you. Okay? Albert Christian was the man that brought this commandment, foolish doctrine nonsense to you, and all the other two college participants who went to Philadelphia to learn such ideology to come down and teach you. Okay? Okay? I want you guys to understand what's going on here, guys. I want you guys to understand what's going on here, guys. I want you guys to understand that you are being led astray. You have to connect back to your ancestral roots, and it does not come from no Biblos. Anybody that's telling you coming from the Biblos is working with the devil. I'm showing this right now to you. Is working with the adversary, are gonna be the ones that's gonna prevent you from elevating, prevent you from captivating and taking back your land, gaining back that power, that Ugun, right? I'm saying that because that's what's said in West Africa. I don't know the power, the god of war. I don't know the name in Isikosa. Figure it out. Find it. I could easily do it, but I'm not gonna do it. I need you guys to do it because this is for your land. This is for our land. It's not just South Africa, the entire land. We want it back. You heard? I'm gonna play this next video for you guys. What time is it? 6:13. This one's about 20 minutes. I'm gonna play it and then we're gonna wrap it up. Now this is Dr. Kanya Yisilia. Kanya Aseli. Oh, I'm putting in the wrong one. Let me get it right. Hold on. Let me get it right. Hold on.
Oh, Nyankopon twere amponkwa.
We got the big fry, the big kahuna. Deaconess Shikari. Let's see what this girl's gonna say. Okay, what's up?
My bad, guys. That job was connected to the wrong one. Let me put this video up so... Now, shout out to Mama Love. Again, this is Mama Love. This is a doctor, a professor. She's into that African spirituality. She knows the history about us. None of this biblical nonsense. She's gonna just give you a breakdown of, the true essence and what we was really doing in Africa prior to these invasions by these heathens. Okay? Nothing biblical. Ain't gonna be no Bible locations and all that. Like I killed that. So moving forward, I don't want to hear none of that. Okay? So she's gonna say what she has to say. A lot of it is gonna be in Isikosa and English. She's gonna diverse the two. It's good that we get a mixture of both. You know what I'm saying, and just get a clear understanding. So let's get it shaking. Let's go.
Down with colonial borders, down with French, Portuguese, English, and etc. as languages of Africa, down. Pambil with the unity of Africa, Pambil. Ninjan. Allow me to do right by those that give me these words. I was born a Litchfield. So I'm a Swata Sneta, but Litchfield Omaluta, so I call them, but Baba Mbega Slim Gakulu Velewati Mazamini take over in terms of culture. So allow me Ubizo Laminos Bula Sawaloba. Sinombo Malange. Malange nilanga izimvule mnyame sabe mafinyi. Bona labaqeda libombo ngekhehlete. Allow me also to call lang shadele khona oshabalala inkonja nezimhlophe ezizalele emafini. Ngoba ngesintu when two people come together, even the ancestors come together. Oshabalala ke bahamba nongwenya amatimanzi abahambi bodwa. So my spirituality at the moment, which is African spirituality, uses the elements of nature. So I've just done umhlaba. Allow me to do the water and the wind at the same time. Excellent. And can we ask one person or petty light that give us the fire so that the elements are complete? That's very light. Thank you. So now that we have done.
So what you guys are seeing is she's doing the core elements of life, right? Which is earth, fire, wind, water. She's putting that all together. These are things that we was doing before these people came. This is what they say, oh, you guys are savages. God told me to bring forth this so-called this God spell. And when we rejected it, because we was fine, we've been doing this for thousands of years, millions of years, these people took it upon themselves to brutalize us, okay? This was brutally enforced. This is coming from a sister from South Africa. This is the terms that they use when it comes to the indoctrination into this so-called Judaism, Christian ideology. They were brutally enforced to follow such things, okay? So I want you guys to pay attention to that, all right? And before you guys start saying this is witchcraft and voodoo, whatever nonsense you guys want to say, just know that you're saying that because you're suffering from PTCS. And when you do say that, you disrespect your ancestors. You know, the ones that got off the boat, came all the way over here, fought for you to be alive today. You disrespect them when you use the same tools that was used against them to brutalize them, violate them, and made them believe that this is the reason why you was enslaved. You have to make that make sense. Are you dumb or are you dumb?
Right, allow me also ukubonga ogogo. Uyabona thina banguni.
Are you dumb?
Angazi abanye abantu uthi ngikhulumele lemni culture engiyaziyo. Asithi thokozani bomkhulu nabogogo, that's reversal. Sithi thokozani bogogo nabomkhulu. Because we acknowledge ukuthi i-Africa la yasuka khona when it was still called Alkebulan by those who called it. The founders, the rulers.
We still call it Alkebulan. Okay? Just letting you know that.
Leadership of the continent was women, but it was never about power. That is why the book I'm writing, it's equity in gender relations. The word gender.
She's telling us that women play a very pivotal role. So when you hear me say Sunini, Nanini, there's honor to both, masculine, feminine. When you hear Modimo, it stands for Mother God. When you hear Chinike, it's owner of the womb. Oh, yeah. And shout out to Bantu Princess for bringing that, well, introducing me to the sister, and she was just doing her homework. And when I went to go do the homework, that's exactly what it was. But you know, who are we, right? We too young, you're
Power relations. Silithola ku-Islam ne-Christianity. So allow me then ukuthi ngibabize ogogo. Angifuna ukubabiza ngamagama ngoba kukhona engizobashiya, kodwa there's one in particular ongichallengeayo, uSaronia. Is Niger today, the Black Panther Queen. So allow me to call her forth so that abe nami. Angike, when Tando said send something, I had a difficulty because I normally do not. I just look at my topic and I collect my thoughts and I allow my ancestors to speak through me. So
that's similar to what I do. I wake up in the morning and this is what I have to talk about. And then I talk about it and then I forget it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you guys been following me for a long time, you guys know that I be here, there, because it's not me in control. And I'm not possessed or overtaken by no Holy Spirit, no separate demon. I'm connecting back to the ancestors. I've submitted myself. I said, you know what? I'm no longer going to follow the ways of the Euro-Christian ideology. I'm no longer going to accept religion. I'm no longer going to accept Christianity. I'm no longer going to accept the Biblos. If I'm going to receive information about who I am, I need to find it from the people that comes from my land. Not the ones that think that they come from there or visit there and can't speak no language and come on and hide in West Bubble. You know what? No, that's not how it works. Sorry, let us continue.
My words are forever on the dot fresh. So record them, because if you ask me to repeat it. So this is fresh. I think let me start by just explaining two diseases from which we all suffer. One is called cognitive dissonance. It is a mental, psychology, it's a mental state of frustration that happens when an individual holds two conflicting beliefs. Now, a lot of African...
And that's a lot of you guys. You hold two conflicted beliefs. You want to associate African names and dialects into another belief that was given unto you by the enemy. And then you got handlers that's programming you to believe that the word that came from the enemy is the truth. There's no truth in that, okay? Jesus was not a man with truth. Everything that came out of the mouth of Jesus, everything that came out of the Biblos was lies. Not one thing was prophecy, was prophetic, outside of them using it to enslave your ass. You understand? Ain't no resurrection, ain't no, listen, Jesus was better off having an erection before a resurrection. You're calling it how it is. Let's go.
Because we have been Arabized and Europeanized. Cognitive dissonance in our. But I just want to highlight one thing quickly, that each time I say a witch doctor, I suffer cognitive dissonance. Because ngempela ngesintu akuna ngakamloyi. Akekho umthakathi mlaki. You are either a witch or you are a doctor. But they gave us this name so that they rubbish everything that have to do with African spirituality. So that when you look at it, you just say it's witchcraft kibuloyi. Another disease I coined in my PhD thesis, and I used Joy degree a lot. Please study that individual who's saying as psychologist. And he deals with what is called transgenerational trauma that Africans have suffered. Joy degree. D and then space GRUY. Don't say because you were not there at the point of colonization, you don't carry the pain in your DNA today. You carry that pain as those people suffered it because it is transgenerational. As long as because we have not healed, because we are still under trauma today. Now I've coined it post-traumatic slavery and colonial disorder. I tell African Americans who follow me on Twitter, please don't for a second think that because we were left in the continent we didn't suffer slavery. Sisi suffer more. Because those who've watched Roots, imagine Kunda's parents, they died without knowing who buried their child, what happened to the child. The Kundas were many of the time being dislodged from the coastal cities because of the slave raiders. The person who said our ancestors collaborated, if they did, why did they have a profession called slave raiders who literally came into the continent to abduct slaves? So what Africans were forced to do was uksuka from the coastal cities to run away from the slave raiders. So we were forced to get on top of each other. And the further in we moved, the further the slave traders were coming. Imagine being banned in a village. There's confusion. We are banned to death. Now we are 10 years old. My people are dead. Now it means it's a new identity. Funding hunger to the next village. At the time of another attack. So we have suffered, African Americans, the same way they suffered slavery. But it's in a more so, as we came out of slavery before healing, we went into colonization, which we are still in it. We have never had a respite. African people have been in pain since 642 AD with the first Arabs who landed on our continent. So, the aim when I prepared was not to elaborate on the diseases. I was just supposed to highlight them and then move on to what I've called in my talk undertones of the message. So as I continue talking, please look for these things that I've called undertones. The first one, surprise, surprise, is by a German called Goebbels. You need to know that man, because he's the father of propaganda as they're using it against us. Goebbels says propaganda works well when the target of manipulation is...
Now you guys know I've been telling you about propaganda. You understand? And I done gave you websites to go on and let you understand that there's no such thing as prophecy. Everything that you see going on, when you see pertaining to us, is propaganda. They take things from the Bible to make sure that you stay highly invested into the Biblos. Okay? What you're seeing that's not propaganda is what you're seeing in Burkina Faso. When you're seeing how the brother Abraham and the brothers in Mali, those brothers, that's not propaganda. That is what you call the El Kebulan awakening that's taking place. Okay? But I'm not going to even use the Bantu awakening. Throw that out the window. This is the El Kebulan awakening. This is where the El Kebulans, we here in America, the El Kebulan kidnapped and the El Kebulan colonized in the land are waking up and understanding what the heck is going on. We're not subjecting ourselves to this religion. As you see, Mama Love is just, she coming off like, yo, this is what we suffering from. The same things that I'm telling you, we suffering from PTCS. You understand? It's a real distress that we have to break out of in order for us to elevate to that next level. And the only way we're going to elevate, or should I say the only elevation that's going to ever happen, is when we connect back to our ancestors in full totality. Let's go.
Under the false guise that they are acting out of their own free will. Yeah. Is that not the story of when we never used decolonial? Since we decolonial, sajamba nje savele saba post-colonial. How do each generation yabantwana bamote masheng, how are they called the born free, who are landless, jobless, no identity? How free are they? How did we agree to that terminology? Now Google says it works better if the objects of manipulation believe that they are acting out of their own free will. The second undertone I want you to think of as I talk is by Ubaba Nkrumah himself, and it is from his handbook on revolutionary warfare. He says to justify its policies, because they know it's rotten policies, to justify its policies, imperialism has had to resort to all sorts of propaganda types against the oppressed, highlighting and exploiting. I'm adding their so-called differences, because for me they are not really differences based on religion. I don't know why we are fighting about religion in the first place. Mama Africa are spiritual people. It's a talk for another day. The difference between spirituality and religion is like north and east. They will never meet. But okay, they use that. That's why in Nigeria there are 3 wars going on now, and one of them is based on religion, and it's Boko Haram. So,
did you hear what she said? Spirituality, religion, righteousness, being religious, 2 different things. We have no connection. It's like north and east, west and the west and the east. They would never come together ever. But we're fighting and we're trying to justify studies given unto us by the enemy. And I hope after today's verdict that you guys just leave these ideologies alone. Leave it. Remove yourself. Come back into your ways. Connect back to your spirituality. Seek your creators. Seek your ancestors. Seek your fellow comrades. Don't war with each other. Build with each other. Get it together, because when we suffer together. You heard? Let us continue.
They do that against us based on religion, based on color. Beautiful skin. Sometimes I am not proud that my father was colored, because I so want that navy. You know, the skin is nyama, that is navy blue. That's the most beautiful skin you can ever have. But they exacerbate those differences where the lighter skinned ones think that they are better than the darker skinned ones. And another undertone, this one is very important, is by a Polish woman called, her surname is Tylus, if I'm pronouncing it right, T-Y-L-U-S.
That's right, ma'am.
Yeah. Oti, and talks about culture. Oti, the role of culture in development has been misunderstood thus far, because it has only been relegated to social development. She says, on the contrary, culture is the apex of economic development. All nations that have risen and become great nations have done that because they have a singular unifying culture.
Isn't that everything that I be saying? This is my very first time ever seeing this video. This is my second time ever even learning about Mama Love right here. And she's saying everything. This is how you know that your brother man from the motherland is connected and not rejected, right? And if I am rejected, I'm rejected by the unexpected heathens, heroes, and heathenites mad that I'm keeping my foot on their necks. Even in this Bantuism, my foot is on that neck too, you and we don't give a damn, because I don't, we outside with it. Let us continue.
The culture is clear, E1, they're united. Look for that undertone as I talk. The last one is mine. I say the word legal should not scare you, because the word legal in Western terminology has never been synonymous with Ubuntu or humane. In fact, in Western terminology, the word legal, whenever you see it, please think of illegal, because they say yes to say no. So those are the undertones I want you to remember as I talk. Then I want to define 4 things quickly. The first one is time frame. I argued in my thesis that Africans shouldn't count time as Abelungu count time, you see. They have BC, which is before Christ. And then some of us call it BCE, before the Common Era. And then they say AD, Anno Domini, after Christ. We say CE, Common Era. But for me, even then, we shouldn't count time like that. Because Tina, we never had the Dark Ages. They are our Dark Ages. We only do Dark Ages. So, I want to link quickly time frame to development. See, there are only 3 races on earth. The rest are nations. Let's not confuse ourselves. You have the Mongoloid race, that's the yellow people. You have the Caucasian race, that's white people. You have the Negroid race, that's Africans. Now, who was the first to civilize? It's very easy. There's a civilization called Kush. They don't deny it. 8,000 years BCE. 8,000 years. Those who calculate can calculate how long ago this is from today. Remember, BC was a countdown. AD is counting up. So we are now in 2018 AD from 180. They are 8,000 BC Kush, the first Kush, because it came again as the second Kush. And then you have Kemet, which is 3,100 more or less. Now, Tina nabo Diop, nabo Obenga, nabo John Henry Clark, we argue that Kemet didn't just descend. It's not possible for any civilization to just start and excel as they did. Yeah. It was birthed by somebody, and it is Kush that birthed them. Yes. But they will not agree that Kush birthed them, because if they agree to that, they are then saying that we were the first to civilize. Yes. Because Kush, without doubt, is where South Sudan is today. You can't mistake it. And then let's look at their civilization. The first time they come on the map, that's why Abu Farah Khan and Abu Khalid Mohammed called them Johnny Come Lately. Yes. The first time they arrive on the map of the earth is the Greek Empire, 800 BCE. Can you subtract 8,000 from 800? So who civilized white people? Us. White people walked on 4s like dogs and animals. They didn't even know what person must stand and walk. They didn't know. That is why up today they've got...
No disrespect, but in some places like Norway, they still walk on 4 legs. I'm just saying.
Schools, rubbish really for an African, called a finishing school to be taught how to sit, how to walk. That's why umlungu makahamba ubona ukuthi bahamba so. Uyabona ukuthi no azange afundiswe. Yeah, because they civilized yesterday. Yes. They are not natural people on the earth. Yes. They are born by climatic default. It's a fact. Yes. The second most populous continent, despite Ma'afa, despite colonization, despite the invention of HIV. By the way, I have a 15 slides on how HIV was invented. It was invented for you. The names are there. If you are interested, get it. So snap out of your cognitive dissonance and know that they are here to kill you. They are not your friends. Now, despite that, we are the second most populous continent, over 1 billion people. Despite the onslaught on our languages, we boast over 1,500 languages. I say over, they say 1,500. I say over, you know why? Because I'm sure they didn't count Isimbondo, they counted it as Xhosa. They didn't count Isibata, but it is Xhosa. Now how many of those are out there throughout the continent? Another thing we look like today is that we sit as Francophone, former French, Commonwealth, British, Lusophone, Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish colonization. By the way, it's not just terms, that's how our economies are divided. Nothing happens in Francophone unless Paris sneezes. Nothing happens here, don't fool yourselves. I can't see if London says no. He can't do jack, excuse my language, shit, unless London says yes. Now, that's our division. Then we have a further division called Maghreb and Sub-Saharan Africa. Maghreb really is Africa because Ubaba Uibeke kahle, Kemet was African. Look guys, go and read Diop arguing against over 50 scientists at a conference that was called by UNESCO, proving to them that Kemet was African. They were so racist in treating him. I cry, Mangifunda, I wish we were there to just support Diop. It was just him and Obenga from DRC, facing racist white people who were refusing that Kemet was African. Now, I don't know about refuse about shooting because we know they came here bazo colonizer. Now, Maghreb is an issue that we really must think about because I don't know if you know, the death of Gaddafi happens because of the Maghreb region of Africa. Because for those states, except Tunisia to a certain extent, for them, Gaddafi was more African than Arab. In fact, the first rebels who were funded by the West to topple Gaddafi are Libyans who are saying Gaddafi is closer to the AU than he is to the Maghreb community. Those same people today, the West is waking up as a shock that they are selling Africans as slaves. They invested in them knowing that they want to topple Gaddafi because it's a racist clique of Arabs who think an African is nothing but an infidel. So the Maghreb issue is on the table as we review what Nkrumah left to us as revolutionary warfare. We need to deal with the Maghreb now and forever. Because, by the way, I hope you know that Egypt is implicated in the giving away of all Gaza Strip and the rest. Egypt now, as it sits, it is not sure if it is African or not.
So, on another serious note, I want you guys to understand that what she's trying to let you know is they're coming. They're going to remove you. All these names that's being changed is a setup for the grand stage, for them to say that Africa is the new home of them. They're gonna, every time you see us promoting it and say, yeah, man, this is the location, they're gonna come and say, you was absolutely right. And this is why God told me for us to come back and take back our land. Remember what I'm telling you guys. This is the same tactics. Nothing changes. You guys are putting these people to too much high regards and you're not understanding what's going on. Keep justifying it and believing it, bro. You're going to see, at the end of the day, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go.
In fact, for some of them, the greatest insult you can inflict on them is to call them an African. How were we before? The topic mailing is cool because it's in my thesis, so I must really speak very minimal so I can finish my talk. So I will do this by giving you just 2 stories to say what were we. There's a place in Mpumalanga. Each time I talk to people, I say Asieni. Now I'm planting it with young people. And young people, if you plant something and they're convicted, I know they will make it happen. Can we arrange, please make sure, and the rest of the people who are here whose names I don't know, by Igama. We need to go to a place in Mpumalanga called Adam's Calendar.
Yes, we know as Michael tells me.
Inzalo Yelanga is the proper word. It was discovered accidentally by a white man, it was South African food, a pen to a plane. And then we are born to but guys, this was civilization. Cut a long story short, Inzalo Yelanga was a civilization that spread from Mpumalanga all the way up to Nairobi. Cognitive dissonance, believe it or disbelieve it. But now I'm telling you a fact that is written down. It had one entrance, one exit, high-walled. They even tell you how high the wall was. It had a road leading from there straight into Botswana. Here's where I got excited. The images of the hawk, the birds they found in Inzalo Yelanga, angithi lezi abazenza as artifacts. Those hawks are the same ones as those found in Great Zimbabwe, the same ones as those found at the Pyramid of Giza. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The Pyramid of Giza Great Zimbabwe and Inzalo Elanga all stand on the 33rd degree latitude on the earth. That's us before they came. There's a woman, the one I said, Nyamtandu Saronia. Saronia come from a line of queens. They're just ruled by queens. They're called the Azna people. They are in Niger today. They try and convert them to Arabize them, Islam, Allah, ini. I can't see how long? 10. Saronia, their people are unconvertible. They refuse. They're African spiritualists. 1480 something, via figure, I'm a Portuguese, nama Spanish, via batchela about the Azna people. But not in a soba converter, sabelung, abasazga. They fail. The French come to colonize Niger. Cut a long story short, after heightened campaigns, reinforcer, finally they defeat the Azna people. They call a meeting because Saronia was a thorn in the flesh for them. They call Imbizo, village square, that's how we built, by the way, Dal. By the way, the archaeology of Africans, please go and look at it. So they call them to the village square, but okay, we are going to show you today, this is what dethrone your king. Saronia learns. She says, okay guys, Mpenji 10 minutes, Tina Sitik where you consult your ancestors. Uti, give me 10 minutes, I'll come out and dethrone. Give me 10 minutes to consult with my ancestors. Cut a long story short, when the 10 minutes ended, the doors flung open. What came out? A black panther. And it walked merrily through the crowd and it disappeared into the forest. They never dethroned her, they never killed her. So when today we show the power of the spirit by drinking petrol, please understand that in the African spirit world, it is real if you believe it and embrace it. It is real. But that is the science we have been turned against, and it's called demonic. Now, let's go.
It's called demonic. Powers like that, natural powers, natural resources. They've told you subconsciously to call it demonic. It's intentional. I want you to understand that. It's intentional. Okay? They don't want you to ever connect back to your Bantu. Excuse me, let me throw that out. Spit it out. Like 57, he got shot in his mouth. You heard? The El Kebulan awakening. We, the people, gotta connect back to that. Because that is what's literally the final frontier, and for us to connect to our true strength and gather back that strength to take it back. If we don't connect back, we're going to lose our men. We're losing the men now in America. It's bad. The black men, the man them walking around with purses, it's bad out here. I don't know how it is in El Kebulan, but over here, it's bad. And we're losing. And we're losing because of the Euro-Christian ideology. We have to remove it. We have to get right so we can get to the so we can finish this fight. Okay? Let us continue.
To how did we come where we are today? Oh, quickly. What is an African? By soil and blood. That's us. Uti, there's an African by soil. You just happen to be born here. Now, we really need to start calling out Africans by soil. But they are not Africans. Life is in the blood. If you're not an African by blood, then you're not an African. Finish it. Now, how did we come here? Because we went through two processes called Arabization and Europeanization. Guys, has it crossed your mind that Islam, Christianity, in fact, the Bible religions, because Judaism, for you to embrace them, you have to stop being who you are. Are you aware? You have to be an African to be a Christian or to be a... That's why they rename you. If in the language you must speak Arabic, Arabic. Yes. That's why Abazalwane go Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, because Abaskulumi Sisu, Ukuluma Hebrew. Yeah, so it. Now, another thing that
and now they changed it to you know, you just gotta just know that the name that's in the Bible is the name of God. It's an African god by the name of Sunini, Omodimo, Omawari, and Shiniki, and Chakaza, and the Kumbaya, and Abate here. This is, yeah, this, you see, listen, hey, man, you know I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. We ain't here to play, man. This is a sister from the land. You see, you heard her speaking, okay? This is not no make-believes, no belief, no insertions. This is the facts. Because this is the facts over belief, so, you heard?
We went through to put us where we are is the Berlin Conference. At the Berlin Conference, prepare for a meeting. I was never aware that at Berlin Conference, America was invited. You know they were. They sat in. Do you know who else was invited? The Ottoman Empire. Guys, I said there are two races on earth, the rest are nations. Doesn't it strike you that these two races have already ran a slave trade on us, colonized us at different angles of the time? And that even in the Security Council today, they are there. They had to call China to sit there. I know we love them, but hey, they remain Mongoloid. They are not African. Now, the Ottoman Empire was called because that was the highlight of the Arabs at the time, to sit in at the Berlin Conference. They had a 5-meter map of Africa. No names, except 5 meters width and length. No names. What does that tell you? They had no intention of knowing this continent because the kingdoms were already there. My brother counted them, I don't need to. That map was there because they were clear that they are going to reinvent you and remodel you, which is what they've done.
You see, numerous kingdoms. Nobody knows of King Solomon, King David, none of them. They knew what they was doing. Like you heard what she said. They didn't even need to know the kingdom because they already know that it was going to reprogram, change the names, have you believing about location. This is my first time watching this. I'm watching this video the first time with you guys, and look at what she's saying. You can't tell me your brother man from the motherland ain't keeping the foot and terrorizing this religion like a Taliban? Come on, man.
Now, what else happened for us to land here? When we started gaining the so-called independence, our leaders said we don't want to open the Pandora box. Asifuna ukubuyela emuva, do away with the borders and whatever. My humble question is, why is it that history got reversed in Eastern Europe so quickly? So quickly. So quickly, but in Africa, no, you can't reverse history. And where they do reverse it like they've done in North Sudan and South Sudan, they get, are you aware South Sudan is smaller than North Sudan? Yes. How does the settler get more land than the Aboriginal, than the indigenous people? Because they didn't use the land of our forefathers, they used the colonization map in the first place to do that. Oti Unkruma in the handbook, what else has happened to us to be where we are? We have agreed, we have put ourselves at a corner where we say Western parliamentary democracy and the political party system are the only way that we can be governed. Kanjani?
Wow.
Kanjani? How?
Yeah.
Secondly, we have allowed ourselves to be client states. And we call that post-colonialism. That's us now. We are not talking about the past, Hitler. We have allowed ourselves to get military support. Are you aware, as you and me sit here, how much foreign military is deploying in Africa, people? AFRICOM, USA alone is taking over Francophone countries. I don't know what is your nini. Silwe nini, ngoba ma-Africa afuna uxoxa awafuna ukulwa. Asifuni ibhamu. We want to negotiate. They are not negotiating. The militaries are here. I thank Southern African countries because currently they are still saying no. Not in the West and in the East. These people are beginning to own. AFRICOM, Neo-Cheka AFRICOM, Yase US, Yotwanga Abala, France and the others. Another thing we have allowed to do is to live by aid or handouts.
Well, that's all. If you guys want to watch the remainder of it, shoot me a link, shoot me a text, and I'll definitely have it up and running for you. But everything that the sister's been saying is what I've been saying. Excuse me. Everything. I've been saying this for such a long time. And like I said, this is for those that's connected to their ancestors. And like I said, ever since I acknowledged Mama Love and I put her on that pedestal, and I didn't reject her and follow this Euro-Christian ideology calling on the Father. Oh, pray to the Father. When a child get a boo-boo, the first person that they run into is the mama. But, religion tells you to call on the Father. And then we've been doing that, and you wondering why we still haven't been healed. But, this goes over your head, but you'll learn someday. But I've been saying these things for such a long time, okay? What they're using to destroy us is religion, bro. They're not using nothing else. They don't have to use nothing else, because as long as we are subject to their ideologies, we are going to always be under their what they call it, missionaries. No, we're going to be under their misery, right? We are the misery, and we got to wake up. So the verdict is simple. I find all religion guilty again, guilty for vandalism, guilty for kidnap, guilty for identity theft, robbery, extortion, etc. And the sentence for this? Life when I'm parole. It's your brother man from the motherland. I came to you guys live. Once again, continue supporting. For those that don't know who I am him, Junes, the NBIC. Honorable Junes, the NBIC. A.K.A. Mr. Gavel, right? Mr. Gavel with Mrs. Gavalier, you heard? And all she do is bang the gavel on you heathens, Hebrews, and heathenites next. And all I do is continue exposing all this religion, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hebrewism, Bantuisms, and every other isms that's keeping us in prison. The rise of the Bantus will never be televised, but guess who's authorized to tell you guys? I am him. It is I, me. Are you dumb or are you dumb? And I'ma holler at y'all. One.